I am an eternal optimist, but I can also be kind of skeptical, especially when it comes to something as annoying as plumbing. Plumbing is satisfying when you get it right, but it really sucks when you're under your sink and everything's dripping. And I really wasn't in the mood to do plumbing tonight, but I had a clog, and the water just wasn't draining at all. So it was a bad clog. So the first thing I did, of course, I got out the plunger, you know, and I went ahead, plunge, and nothing. It didn't do anything. It just loosened a bunch of really ugly, disgusting debris. So then I went under the sinks, and there's two sinks, one in this bathroom, one on the other side of the wall in the other bathroom, and I took all the pipes out from under the sinks, the traps basically in the wall pipe, and I tried to reach in there, and I found some clogs, but nothing of consequence, nothing that was going to cause that much of a backup. What I also noticed is that these pipes are just like old and crusty, and you know, they've served their purpose, and these gaskets, washers, whatever you want to call them, they're getting old and they're kind of leaking, a couple little drip drop leaks here and there. So what I did was I went to the Home Depot, and I actually got a bunch of these kits because they were so cheap, because I didn't know exactly what I would need, and I got a J-Trap kit. This is $3.97. Like, how can you beat that? $4 for this J-Trap kit, and I replaced all this stuff, like all this old, you know, brass pipe with the plastic. And you could argue that, you know, they don't make things like they used to, and they used to make things out of metal instead of plastic, and yada yada yada. But that plastic stuff went in really cleanly, real easily. It tightens up by hand. You don't even need tools, and it stopped the leaks right away. But I didn't have a solution to the clog yet. Now what I also bought was this pistol grip drum auger. In other words, a drain snake. But here's the problem, and this is why I didn't want to use this. I'm glad I didn't use it, because I can return this to Home Depot and get my 20 bucks back plus tax. And I can return the other stuff that I didn't use also. When you run a drain snake down the drain, it's obviously going to take the path of least resistance. And I think the way these two sinks on the opposite sides of the wall are plumbed, if I ran this snake down, it would probably just come up the other side of the drain, like in the other sink. So it would be hard to get it around like the elbow, so it would go down and find the actual clog. So the third thing that I got, actually I guess it was the second thing, I mean I already had the plunger. The thing that I really had the least faith in, that I didn't think was going to work at all, was this bottle of DRANO Max Gel clog remover. Now, I don't know one clog remover from the next day. I had a bunch of different ones. I think I bought this one, I don't know, maybe it was a little less expensive than the other one. Maybe I like the bottle better, but there's a bunch of them on the shelf, and I really didn't have any faith in any of them. I mean, how can you dump some stuff in your sink, and it's just going to get rid of a big clog like that? But I was proven wrong. I was surprised. Now, the way you do this, the way you use it, according to the directions, it says pour half of the bottle into the drain. So I don't know if you can see that. We're going to focus on that. But pour half the bottle into the drain. But it seemed like a tough clog, so it says pour entire bottle for tough clog. So I poured the whole bottle. Now, the sink was already filled with water because I couldn't get the drain to go down. So the sink was probably about yay high in water. So I poured this in and added it to the water. And it says allow it to work for 15 minutes or 30 minutes for tough clog. So I went out and set a timer for 30 minutes, and then I, you know, killed time, did some stuff on the computer and this and that. And I checked after a few minutes. I came back in, still a sink full of water, and I figured, this stuff isn't going to work. You know, and then I'm going to have to try and figure out how to get that drain snake down there and around the corner. But half an hour later, the timer goes off. I come in here, hey, the drain is clean and clear. And the one on the other side was too. So obviously the clog was below the point where the two drains, you know, these two sinks drain into the same plumbing, and so the clog was below that point. So the other sink was cleared too. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, obviously it's a clog remover. Obviously they sell a lot of this stuff, so if it didn't work, they probably wouldn't be able to make any claims about it. They probably wouldn't even be able to sell it, but I really didn't think it was going to work. And it worked perfectly. So for about, God, this stuff cost maybe $6-7 for this bottle. And then I spent another, I don't know, let's say maybe $4 on the P-trap. I had a couple of those little compression nuts for a couple more dollars. So all in, I'm at like 15 bucks. And I've got not only some new plumbing under my sink that doesn't leak anymore, so I had like a couple little annoying drips that are gone, but I also got rid of my my clog. Now, the only objection I have to this, the reason I wouldn't want to use this, because it's a harsh chemical. You know, there's warnings in here, and like right here, you know, look at that big danger warning. So you got to be really, really careful with this. You don't want to breathe in any fumes. You don't want to combine this with any other kinds of chemicals, any other kind of cleaners or agents. And you certainly don't want to, when this is in your sink, you don't want to splash. You don't want to put the plunger in there and get water splashing back that's got this in it. It's a very harsh chemical. There's very severe chemicals. So I would prefer not to use this kind of thing. This to me was like a last-ditch effort, but I didn't really think that I was going to have much luck trying to get that drain snake down there. And I certainly didn't want to call a plumber. A good friend of mine's a plumber, and he's reasonable, like 40 bucks an hour. But, you know, I would have had to wait till tomorrow or a couple days for him to come out. He's a busy guy. So, in a pinch, you got a bad clog. You can't get it with your plunger. You don't want to use a drain snake. You've already, you know, taken all your pipes out and cleaned your traps and stuff. If you have to, go get a bottle of this stuff, $5-6, and hopefully it'll work for you as well as it worked for me. It worked fantastically well for me. And just the one thing, as it says on the back, is once you're done, just flush the sink with hot water. And you know, I over-flushed it. I made sure to clean everything off because I don't want any chemicals on here. So, you know I make some videos kind of lambasting companies that have bad products or bad customer service, but I will have to give credit where it's due to DRANO, the SC Johnson & Son company. DRANO Max Gel. If you got a clog in your sink, spend a few bucks and try this. Thanks for watching.